Hey, what's up? This is Brandon Simmons from BrandonSimmons.biz. This is my weekly video blog called Bullheaded, a review of the Houston Texans news, as well as a preview of the upcoming game matchups. So, this week, the Texans are going to be at home hosting the Oakland Raiders. Big game coming off a loss, and so, good chance for them to just kind of get back home and build up some of that energy that all the Astros fans that was like kind of staved off from the team for a while. So good time to kind of feed off that energy as we're rooting for the Stros to get their another World Series win. So before we get into this week's game, just going to go over a couple of news items and do a little recap from last week's game. So quick review from week 7. Just a bad loss overall. They gave up. I mean, Texans gave up what 4 touchdowns to the Colts, 30-23 loss, and it was just. I mean, it was just a game that they probably. I mean, the Colts are a good team, but the Texans probably should have really won that game, and they had their chances to win that game. Probably one of the more frustrating moments in that game. I guess McKinney had committed a personal foul or whatever, and so that kind of and this was in the red zone in the third quarter, and so despite and he committed the personal foul, and so instead of the Colts being held to a field goal, it gave them another chance to continue their drive in the red zone. They ended up scoring a touchdown. So really something that just kind of hurt my head, and hurt my head because I probably want to slam my head against the wall when he did that. But it is what it is on that particular play. Overall in that game, secondary, they just could not hold up in that game at all. They I talked about last week. I talked about how good they've been kind of playing against some of these offenses with explosive receivers. I.e. Kansas City and the Atlanta Falcons. But this particular game, they obviously could not hold up and get things going. They could not contain these wide receivers for nothing at all. So. Just a bad play on that end. Protection, O-line, another group that I bragged on that, a lot of people held in high regards. They were just pretty much, they had a 2-game win streak. Excuse me, they had a 2-game streak coming into the Colts game where they didn't allow a sack at all. And so, given the fact how they started playing in the beginning of the year, that was an amazing display from them in that 2-game stretch. But this one, obviously, not so much the case. In fact, I believe, yes, Watson finished with 3 sacks. So another game where he was sacked at least 3 times. And there were a couple of points in the game in which he was actually knocked down. So yeah, I was trying to see. It was yeah, I cannot find where he got knocked down, but oh yeah, early in the fourth, on a 4th and 1 actually. So yeah, early in the fourth and 1, he tries to throw the ball obviously, but the O lineman just couldn't protect him that well, gets knocked down, and that's that on that 4th and 1. Kenny Stills, he tried to make his presence felt big time in this game. 4 catches for 105 yards. This was in the wake of Will Fuller actually having to leave the game because of a hamstring injury. So Fuller, he'll be out for a couple weeks, and we'll touch on that in a little bit. But Stills, he tried to do what he had to do, and he's been kind of being that bubbling up and being that presence all season. But I was glad to see that he actually really just got to that level of production while Fuller is out, because he's more than likely going to have to be there. So perfect segue for Fuller actually being out for a couple weeks. A hamstring injury, and excuse me. My thing is with Will Fuller, he's had like 1 big game this whole season, and so that was the Atlanta Falcons game, if I'm not mistaken. So Uh, yeah, that was the Atlanta. Second quarter game. In fact, it has to be an Atlanta game. Anyway, I don't know why I'm just floppy on these games today. But yeah, he's had like one good game this season. Yeah, Atlanta. Um, that 217-yard play uh, performance actually. And other than that, man, that was big. That was it. That was about the only time he's really just went over 100 yards this year. And the closest he's been to that was game one against the New Orleans Saints, and where he had like 69 yards or whatnot. So yeah, right now I'm just seeing like stuff saying that he's going to be missing weeks. So yeah, definitely hamstring is no joke, obviously, but he'll be out for a while. And so with that being said, Texans, they've been working out wide receivers. They really haven't signed nobody yet, nobody of like prominence or anything. Um, but at the same time, we still have Kenny Stills and Kiki Kuti. Stills, been playing mainly that slot role, but I definitely think he can fit into this number two spot opposite of DeAndre Hopkins. Um, he can probably, interchange out both if need be, but definitely he should be able to hold down that two spot. While Kiki runs the or Kute, whatever Kuti holds down that slot position. Um, I definitely think Kuti has the speed for it, obviously, and so he can definitely. They both can make big time plays in those respective positions. And I'm definitely excited, to see Stills just really step up and get more opportunities to get the ball. I've always like ever since he came down here, you know, I've pretty much enjoyed like what he's put out so far. Even though it hasn't been a lot, but it's been like some crucial moments. Starting with the touchdown in the New Orleans Saints game, which could have been a game-winning touchdown, but it is what it is on that play, on that particular play. But the very few times that he has had the ball, he has like tried to make something with the football. So I'm definitely anxious to see like how he's going to be fitting into this game plan this coming Sunday. The last transaction that went down is cornerback Garyon Conley. Ironically, um, the Texans traded for him from the Oakland Raiders, and so what we get out of Conley, we get more cornerback depth, another cornerback added actually. Um, I don't know if well, y'all should remember. Philip Gaines was actually, added in about a month ago. So, um, that's gonna be that's just another guy like coming in. That's coming in like kind of adding to the depth. That's we probably are gonna need because I mean, hell, Jonathan Joseph was hurt the last game, and also in the Chiefs. Excuse me, he's hurt in the Chiefs game, and so I think, yeah, he was hurt in the Chiefs game. Hell, Tashawn Gibson, he had to leave the Colts game for a bit, and so it's all these injuries happen. Particularly in our secondary, and kind of where we have some of our issues just really pop up. So what I really, so yeah, what I really feel is that. Okay, I probably should have brought this up. So, anyway, so what I really hope is that he can kind of just boost some depth to what we have. And another thing that I like about Conley, I was looking at some of the highlights that he kind of had already. Um, he's a real like aggressive type corner. That's the one thing that just kind of stood out to me when watching him on tape or on the highlights or whatever. And so, I'm just noticing that the Texans are really just going like they're just really like getting these aggressive man coverage type quarters like Roby. Um, Hell, Lonnie Johnson, he's doing, pretty great as well. So, I really think that's helping as far as like, kind of handling some of these receivers that's getting thrown at us. And so that's probably something that's going to need to be implemented a little bit more, especially down the line, as, the competition gets a little bit tougher or whatever. So, um, definitely, I like that he brings that to the table. So definitely looking forward to what he can do either this weekend. It's reported that he might play on Sunday, and if not playing on Sunday, definitely looking forward to what he can do down the line. So going into the game. So yeah, like I said, Texans hosting the Oakland Raiders, 3:25 time slot. So you can go to church, you can get your greens cooking, you can get all that good stuff going by the time the game comes on. So couple things or quite a few things that the Texans need to do in order to win this game. First thing they need to do is the run defense. It has to be solid. It's no, run defense has been pretty great this year. Last week I reported it was 10th. I'm not sure if that number has changed or not, but they've definitely been great. They did great last week as well, so it's been pretty consistent like all season. As far as like the Raiders, running back Josh Jacobs, he's ran for 100 yards in the last two games. So don't want to have that get on. Don't want to have that turn in like some type of streak that can end up costing. Um, that can end up costing us the game. The crazy part about it is the first time that he ran for 100 yards of this 2 game stretch, they won the game. But the second game, which was against the Green Bay Packers, they actually lost the game. So um, pretty crazy how he's able to get 100 yards and still get blown out by Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, but it is Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, so whatever. But yeah, run defense has to be solid. Nothing really to write home about with his receiving yards. So the main focus should be like, just stopping the run. Definitely just, kind of just yeah, definitely just cover the pass or whatever, and prepare for that. Just in case the run is just proven like consistently ineffective. So definitely keep a solid run defense going. Um, it's a bounce back game for the secondary and for the offensive line. So like I said, last couple of weeks, secondary they've been on their job. They've been doing what they can, to kind of stifle the opponent's receivers and just excuse me, allow for the defense to allow for the other people on the defense to kind of make their own plays. So they'll have to get back to doing that. Veteran defensive backs, they should be able to help the new cornerback if he plays, just kind of knowing his way around and helping him out with any coverages that he just learned and all this other stuff. Just kind of help him out and just kind of showing the way. Wide receivers. Oh, excuse me. I'm jumping the line. Offensive line has to get back on track for protecting the QB. So, yeah, like I said, that was a great 2 game stretch where they were protecting them, no sacks allowed, but they have to get back to that. 3 sacks. You can't do 3 sacks like the whole season. Like, I mean, excuse me, 3 sacks a game like the whole season. Like, you gotta, keep his jersey clean, keep him off the ground. The more you keep our quarterback off the ground, the more likely it is we're probably gonna, win this game and ultimately get a blowout from it. And last thing, wide receivers must make plays. So the Raiders, they have a 31st ranked passing defense. They 31st in allowing passing yards. So um, what has to be done is kills and QT kills steals and QT. They must provide their playmaking. They must really provide some playmaking. Some that Will Fuller may or may not have provided in his while as he was here during the season or as he was healthy during the season. But it's up to Stills and QT to actually provide that dynamic on the offensive side of the ball, and just run. through that secondary like the best way you can, and just run a scoreboard up if you need to. So, or just run the scoreboard up. Best way to win. But so yeah, those are the three things. Those are the three things for the Texans to do to win this game. Run defense must be solid. Bounce back game for the secondary and for the O line, and also the receivers. They must make plays. So, with that being said, that's all I got for you this week. My name is Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. Holla black.